Well, hello and welcome to Museum Nights. It's just after 7 and I'm I'm delighted to be here with you this evening. I'm going to be joined by some friends and colleagues shortly for a variety of Museum Nights activities. This is our July 2021 Museum Nights summer party. We're really excited to be in the summer. Things are feeling pretty positive around Gainesville, around Florida, around the country, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the museum soon. This is our final online museum nights. We've been online for over a year, something like 16 museum nights, something like 4,500 views, probably 100 guests, faculty, staff, students, community members, artists, creatives, dancers. It's been really a great time online, but we're looking forward to seeing you August 12th in person at the museum. Online museum nights are at 7 p.m. We're switching back to 6 p.m. at the museum, 6 to 9 p.m. So we look forward to seeing you in the evening, Thursday, August 12th for Into the Lens, an evening inspired by our upcoming photography exhibition about Black history and Black experience in the United States called Shadow to Substance, opening later in July, about the 27th, I believe. So a lot to look forward to. Tonight, we welcome your comments and chat in the YouTube chat box. In fact, there's going to be a trivia contest. We're going to need you to respond with your answers to our challenging questions in the chat box. We're also going to be having, this is a summer party. We're going to be having drinks coming up very soon. And we're going to be having dance. You can't have a party without dance, with the fabulous Shera Curtis, the genius behind Project Beautiful, an amazing organization in town bringing creativity, dance, and art to youth. Shera is wonderful, and we're looking forward to dancing with her and some of her friends. Let's see, what else do I want to mention? Get your dancing shoes on, or your dancing socks on, or your dancing bare feet on, because you're going to be dancing too, right? That's going to be all of us getting up out of our chairs and being online, but on our feet for fun. Get your drink ingredients. Right, that is something I needed to bring up. We've shared online in advance our recipe for a couple of drinks that we're sharing and drinking tonight. So let me just bring up my share screen. Can't do it for some reason. Sometimes Zoom is just not gonna cooperate. There we go. Wrong one. Take two. I think you might be seeing my Museum Nights information. So we're mixing drinks tonight. You might have your own ingredients. If you got our message in advance, you could be making a Gator orange mimosa or a Gator blue mimosa, or Spritzer, that is. I'm going blue, and I'm going to ask Janine to join me here. She's going orange tonight. So you can gather up your OJ if you have it, or some sort of, hey, hi Janine, how are you doing?
Hi, Eric. I'm good. Thanks for inviting
joining the
me.
party. It's great to have you.
Yeah.
You are doing the orange mimosa. I see that right there.
Yep.
And I've got the blue spritzer. For the blue spritzer, anything blue, Hawaiian punch, Gatorade, something healthier that's blue, something that you have in your fridge that I'm not even thinking of, maybe some kind of dark grape soda. And a lemon lime drink with bubbles and a slice of something. What are you using in your mimosa, Janine?
I'm going to be using orange juice. I got the Simply Orange brand from Eric. Thank you. And what else? I have Sprite. I like these little mini cans. This is perfect. And I have one orange and one lime. So I'm going to be cutting up my fruits first.
Cool. I pre-cut myself a beautiful lemon, right?
Nice. That is beautiful.
And so I'm going to pop that in my glass while Janine's at work. A little hard to see. I'm in the bar, you can see right now. And what did I say? I've got 2 parts of this terrifying blue liquid. So let's just count it off. Everyone, if you're pouring your drinks now, you can count with me. 1, 2. I actually used to be San Francisco's world's worst bartender. Well, San Francisco's worst bartender. This is a few decades ago. But I was a professional, so it doesn't mean I know what I'm doing, but I got paid for it. And then it was going to be 1 part of my favorite lemon lime soda. Okay, my proportions are off, but can you hear it bubbling? Sounds good. And look how beautiful. It's blue.
Whoa.
Gator blue, almost.
Go
How's yours
Gators.
going?
It's good. I'm putting the fruits in first because I really like fruits, kind of like a sangria.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna do 2 parts of the orange juice. So I got my OJ going in. Okay, that looks like 2 parts. Maybe I might have overdone the OJ, but that's okay.
Yeah, don't drink OJ on an empty stomach. It could go to your head.
Oh, really?
No.
I
Janine
never
doesn't know
heard
me
that.
well enough, but my son will tell you I'm never serious.
That's awesome. Okay, now I got my Sprite for that carbonation. And I'll top it with this little lime wedge so that it looks cute. Can y'all see this?
That looks beautiful. It looks tasty. It kind of looks better than mine, but I better kill the background for a minute so you can really enjoy the full.
Cheers, Eric.
There's blue to you.
Cheers.
Happy summer. Good health to all. Of course, we're staying safe, vaccinating, and wearing masks when we can. We need to. At the Harn, when we work, we're wearing masks, and we invite you to come in. Masks are not required, but we want you to feel safe. So help us to make you feel safe. Bottoms up.
Cheers.
Okay. My drink could be worse.
Are you pleasantly surprised?
Yeah, I think. If you're drinking something interesting with us tonight, I invite you to make a note of it in our the chat box. Let us move on from drinks to that's coming up a little later to what's next, which is some trivia. We've got a trivia contest going, and we're going to need some of you watchers. There's not a lot of you right now, so that means you've got a great chance of winning. Let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to share with you some staff picks, right? We're an art museum. We're going to share some art. We're going to share some staff picks, and then after each pick, there's a little trivia that relates to that work of art or what the staff member talked about. I'm sharing with you the video of our staff members talking about their favorite or a favorite artwork. And then you're going to answer the question. Then I'll ask a trivia question afterwards, and you're going to answer the trivia question in the YouTube chat box. Okay? I can't hear you out there, but YouTube can. Hope that's not too scary.
Eric, I'm going to go into my other room so that I can look at the chat. But thank you for the drink. It was delicious.
Thanks. Janine's going to be coming back, so we'll see you soon.
I'll be right back.
And in your new location.
Thanks.
Okay. So what we want to do, share a screen, and I lost my, here we go. Sorry, we're going to have our first staff pick coming up here. This is Carol McCusker sharing a work that she's really interested in and has a important discussion about as well. Let's take a look.
So, hello everyone. My name is Carol McCusker. I'm the curator of photography at the Harn Museum of Art. And today I want to share with you my interest in a photograph by the photographer Bruce Davidson.
Sorry, we're going to have our first step coming up here. This is Carol McCusker sharing a work that she's
photo agency that
really
began
interested in.
right after World War II in 1947.
Discussion about as well.
It's called the Magnum Photo Agency, and it's actually in existence to this very day. It's an international cooperative photo agency of photographers who can sell their own photographs and also images.
Okay, it seems like our audio is not working. I have to owe you an apology here.
Part of a new generation. So
too.
hello, everyone. My name is Carol McCusker. I'm the curator of photography at the Harn Museum of Art. And today I want to share with you my interest in a photograph by the photographer Bruce Davidson. And I'll tell you a little bit about him. First of all, there was a photo agency that began right after World War II in 1947, and it's called the Magnum Photo Agency. And it's actually in existence to this very day. It's an international cooperative photo agency of photographers who can sell their own photographs and also, most importantly, control their images and how they are interpreted by the mass media. So this was an innovative thing for 1947. Now, in the late 1950s, as part of a new generation of post-war photojournalists, Bruce Davidson, the photographer here, was invited to join Magnum Agency. And you had to be invited only because you had to prove your mettle by the existence of your work, your body of work. So, of course, Bruce Davidson joined Magnum, a very prestigious photo agency. And he was one of the second generation of post-war photographers who believed in direct experience. That means no setups, no posing, life in the street as it was. And he would have extended involvement with his subject over the years. 1 year with a Brooklyn gang that he spent a whole year following them and photographing them. Then another year on a single street in Harlem. And he developed relationships with these people. And this was part of the new movement of the 1960s called the New Journalism. And what this meant, it was writers and photographers that didn't want any artifice to interfere with their reporting. It was life directly seen and felt by the writer or the photographer. And so for Bruce Davidson, this included his involvement with the civil rights movement, of which tangentially this photograph is reflecting that movement. So he became involved in the civil rights movement from 1960 to 1965. And the catalyst was him reading about the attacks on the first Freedom Rider buses in the early 1960s. So he immediately traveled down south and he joined the civil rights protesters on the ride from Montgomery, Alabama to Jackson, Mississippi. And this marked Davidson's political awakening as a photographer. So as I said, this is relevant to our image today that we're discussing. This photograph came to the Harn last fall as a gift from a New York collector. And I've known about it in the history of photography because it's kind of a catalyst for a lot of interpretation. I myself wondered about the relationship of these two young women that we see. And I wonder if you wonder about it too. So last October, when it came to us as a gift, I contacted Bruce Davidson. He's 87 years old now and living in New York. And I asked him if he could recall anything about these two women. Were they friends? Could he remember that? What were the circumstances here? Was there something else going on outside the counter that we're immediately looking at? But his assistant was his emailer. And so she was the one who replied that Bruce thought that they did not know one another. That was his recall. But that was 60 years ago. And so I hesitate a bit over memories from 60 years ago, even for myself. So forgive me if I'm a little skeptical about Bruce Davidson's recall. But we're going to get to his reply in a moment. First, I just want to step back for a minute and look at what some people immediately think of when they see a Black person, a white person sitting at a lunch counter, is that in Greensboro, North Carolina, in 1960, there started a civil rights protest that was called the Greensboro Sit-ins. And so this was a protest that started when young Black students, both male and female, staged a sit-in at a segregated Woolworth's lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina, and refused to leave after being denied service. And so that started the sit-in movement that soon spread to college towns throughout the South and even into other major cities around the US. So we come back to these two young women that we're looking at in our photograph, and clearly this is not part of the sit-in movement. There would have been much more turmoil and people in the background. And you can even Google the Greensboro sit-ins and you can see those photographs for yourself.
So we're not even in the South in this image. We are on Madison Avenue in New York City on a beautiful summer day. And we know it's summer because of the dresses that these young women have, and that one of the women has a white glove on her hand. Usually white gloves would have come out in the summertime for sure. And they, to me, do not seem adversarial, even though what puzzles us the most and captures our attention in this photograph is the expression on the white girl's face, that she seems to be wearing a frown or something is going on with her. Now, I want you to know that this was a 35mm camera that Bruce Davidson was using. These were lightweight, quiet, and fast cameras, and that you can capture somebody's expression in 1/20th up to 1/500th of a second. So that this could just have been a passing way that she held her mouth, or I like to look at it that she's looking down at her soda, and there might have been a lot of ice in that drink, and that it's a possible brain freeze that she's experiencing from her soda. We really don't know. Or could it be something less flattering about her frame of mind? Other viewers have read it as her dislike of sitting beside the young Black woman beside her to the left or to the right of her. But let's look closer. I just like to analyze this a little further. Friends often dress similarly, don't they? And I look at the two of them, and they're both in summer wear. They have striped and plaid dresses on. Their hair is carefully coiffed. And they're also wearing pearls. One of them wears it in her hair and the other around her neck. And they're enjoying sodas, the same kind of sodas, it would seem, together. And one of them is eating a sandwich, it would look. To me, it doesn't feel like a contentious scene, despite the woman's expression on the right. And if you notice, the space around them seems calm. You can see passers-by through the glass plate window outside, and there's no commotion. The woman on the far left is looking down. She has her hair wrapped in a chignon, and she seems to be reading or looking at something on her lap. Today, we would read that posture as looking at her cell phone, right? She is not at the least engaged in what's going on or with the photographer. Bruce Davidson himself is likely leaning across an L-shaped counter, so he's leaning over it and capturing both of these women perfectly centered in the frame. It's really a beautiful realized shot. So ultimately, I like to say we don't know the full circumstance of what these two women are to each other, or what the moment represented, whether it was friendship or that they were sitting separately from one another, that there was nothing connected to them, or that the woman on the right clearly did not want to be sitting beside the young Black woman to her right. And maybe our response has more to do with us, our own interpretation and our own sense of reality, since we don't know anything further for sure. So here's what Bruce Davidson wrote back. And this is via his assistant. Bruce remembers the image being taken in 1962 at a chock full of nuts coffee shop on Madison Avenue. He remembers this because Jackie Robinson was the first Black US vice president of a national corporation with chock full of nuts, and with Bruce, all roads lead back to baseball. I just looked at the contact sheet, and this was one single frame. Amazing, and no others. These two women do not know each other, was Bruce's remembrance. And I guess the fact that it was New York City and not the South is why they seem relaxed sitting side by side. So with that, I would wonder what you think of this image, and for you to contemplate it. And I look forward to seeing you visiting the Harn when it is on view next March of 2022, in an exhibition that I'm creating right now called Copia 2, Bringing to Light Images from the Harn Permanent Collection. And that's an exhibition that the word copia means abundance. And so I'm looking at images you haven't seen yet or that are rarely seen, and this is one of them. So hope to So hello, everyone.
Hi, my name is Janine Tatlock. I am the Visitor Services Coordinator here at the Harn Museum of Art. The work I selected is Bathers by Sally Michelle Avery.
Okay, that was dumb. I just realized that the
really-
entire time I was speaking a minute ago, I was on mute. So, what I was saying was, we've got this great prize. It's a mug, and oh my God, I can't believe that. So sorry. And the question is, these 4 young Black Americans in North Carolina who integrated the Woolworths counter, Aziel Blair Jr., Franklin McCain, Joseph McNeil, David Richmond, who are they known as? Type your answer in the chat box. First one to answer wins the prize. Okay. And if you need a hint, the hint is, are we talking about the Greensboro 4, the Fantastic 5, the Young Radicals, or the Counterculture? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play you another staff pick video, and then we'll have another trivia question and another prize. Hope someone's winning the mug.
Hi, my name is Janine Tatlock. I am the Visitor Services Coordinator here at the Harn Museum of Art. The work I selected is Bathers by Sally Michelle Avery. What really attracted me to this piece, well, first let me start off by saying I was already a fan of Milton Avery, who is Sally Michelle's husband, and I've seen his work in multiple different museums across the country. I've always loved his paintings, and I actually hate to admit that I didn't even know about Sally Michelle until recently. And when I saw her piece in the Florida Legacy collection at the Harn, I really fell in love with it. I wanted to learn more. I noticed that her last name was Avery, and also noticed that the style was kind of similar. So I researched more about the Avery style and was not surprised to learn that Sally Michelle had kind of been the innovator of this style that Milton Avery is known for. Of course, they worked together and they shared a studio space, and they were a husband and wife partner as well as artistic collaborators, and were both influenced by each other. And I thought it was really cool to see a relationship like that and an artist couple, because I'm really attracted to this particular style as well. One thing I noticed about Sally's painting is that it's a little bit more warm in color. I really noticed the yellows and the warm hues. And in size, the painting is smaller than, for example, Milton Avery's painting that's also in that exhibit. And it's really nice. I really appreciate this piece a lot. So that's why I selected it for my staff pick. Another thing too, I had the opportunity to lead a watercolor workshop here at the Harn, and I used this piece as inspiration for my own drawing that I used as an example in the workshop. So here's my own drawing of Sally Michelle Avery's painting. Needless to say, I was very inspired by this piece.
That is so wonderful. Janine, thank you for sharing your enthusiasm and thoughts about Avery's artwork. And I love that you created your own work. It's time for our next trivia question. I'm excited about it. This is a trivia question related to Sally Michelle Avery. And look what I have as a prize. This is the same watercolor made by Janine that she just shared in her video. She was kind enough to sign it, Janine Tatlock. She is an artist. She's a wonderful watercolorist. And here she is. This is the next prize. So again, I'm going to show you the question, and you're going to, the first one to enter the answer into the chat box wins this wonderful watercolor. I'm jealous. Unfortunately, I can't play the game. So the question is, Sally Michelle Avery's work can be found in the collections of the Harn Museum of Art in Florida, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts in Philadelphia, and the Wadsworth Atheneum, which is located in what city? What city is the Wadsworth Atheneum located in? They have a Sally Michelle Avery in their collection. Any guesses? Pop them into the chat box in YouTube, and the first correct answer will win. So hard to see. Will win Janine's wonderful watercolor inspired by this work by Sally Michelle Avery that is actually on view at the Harn right now. So you can come to the museum, pick up your watercolor, and see the original that inspired it. So right now we're going to change it up. It's time for the dance party. So I'm going to bring in our dance party partners led by Shera Curtis, and I'm going to ask you all to, we can't see you, but you're going to get up and move with us, okay? Let me turn off the share and bring in my friends. Here we go. I have friends. It's true. Let's admit all. Welcome, 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 welcome. It is great to have all of you joining.
Let me rename myself.
Okay. That was Shera. She's beautifully waiting. And excellent. So this is new for us, the dance party. Shera, we need your video on when you get a chance.
Here we go. Hi.
There we go. So excited to see. And then Janine's going to join. I am going to hide out and watch the dance and dance here at my office. Shera, is your music good to go?
I actually figured out what was wrong with it. So
I can
we
share
might
if
be
you want.
able. You want me to share it?
Whatever works, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm happy to do it. I'm good.
Okay, let me do it. I figured out what it was.
Okay. Everybody who's here with us tonight on YouTube, get on your dancing shoes, get on your dancing socks, get on your dancing bare feet. and get ready to just let it out with Shera.
All right, let's get ready to rumble. All right, so everybody, welcome to Get Up and Move. All right, I'm gonna be playing with the music while we're going through this. So we're gonna start with a quick stretch, but I want everybody to get comfortable with their space. So wherever you are, we're gonna just do a quick walkthrough of your space, and then I'm gonna turn on some music. Let's get this party started. How is that? You guys can hear it? It's good?
Sounds great.
All right. Okay. And hot dog is gonna join.
Come on, get up and dance to the music. Get up and dance to the music. Come on, get up and dance to the music. Get up and dance. If you feel it in your bones, yeah, I suggest you get it on, girl. Hey, you bet not know this chance now. Here's the music, get up and dance, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Moving to the funky beat. And we're grooving till you're on your feet. I say we're moving, baby, to the funky beat. And we're grooving till you're on your feet. Please don't be too shy now. All the feelings will pass you by, yeah. It's a party thing, girl. And it makes you wanna wait, yeah. If you feel it in your soul now, well, join in and move along now. Can you feel it getting stronger? Well, join in and move along now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Moving to the funky beat. I say we're grooving till you're on your feet. And we're moving to the funky beat. Yeah, and we're grooving, baby, till you're on your feet.
Go to the left. What happened to our music? You can play it again, Eric. And
You know, I was wondering,
yeah.
if you could keep
All right.
on, because
And now we're gonna do
the fellowship, it's got a lot of power, and it makes me feel like
y'all feeling that workout?
it makes me feel
Me and the
like
baby are. We're gonna do
Now we're gonna work on high, low, sensation, sensation. yourselves a hand. Ooh, that was pretty good. All right. Hello. Now is our next song. Woo! Wait. All right. Have everybody joining in on the fun. So we're gonna do a combination with this one. All right. Go, girl. You guys ready for a combination? Go.
right. Good job. We are moving. Woo. Give yourselves a hand. You guys are gonna like the next one.
New Cupid.
Come on, Tatum.
Top of a chain.
Come on, Anna. Come on, Janine. Erica, you gonna join us?
New style, down, do your dance. We got a brand new dance. Do your dance. Kick a swing out, baby. Do your dance. Down, do your dance. Do your dance. They say I'm a rapper and I say no. They say what you doing, trying to do somebody go. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance, you gotta move your muscle. Brand new dance, it's called a Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go, we gon' show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Let me see you do the Cupid. Do your dance, do your Let me see you do the Cupid. Do the shuffle, baby. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Now you see what I'm talking about. Oh, I represent for the dirty side, where we're known for swinging out. King of swing out, baby. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Let me see you do the Cupid Shuffle, the Cupid Cupid Shuffle, the Cupid Shuffle, the Cupid Cupid Shuffle. From that boy Cupid, the king of swing out, baby. Yeah. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick. Now come on, baby, kick. Now walk it by yourself. Walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, the right, the right. To the left, to the left, to the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Walk it by yourself and do the Cupid Shuffle. Now let me see you do the Cupid Shuffle. Now let me see you do the. It's your boy Cupid, C-U-P, the I-D. Mr. Fat on the track, got another hit indeed. Do the down, do your dance, do your dance. Come on, down, do your dance, do your dance. Let me see you do your dance, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance. Down, do your dance. We got a brand new dance. We got a brand new sound. We got a brand new feel. We got a brand new style, y'all.
Good job, you guys. That was kicking my butt. All right, so now I know you're tired. Grab some water. Get hydrated. Thank you. Everybody, make sure you stay hydrated when you move. I am listening. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do a nice little cool down. You guys ready? And we're gonna look to the right.
Shera, thank you for the dance party. Anna, Sada, Janine, thank you so much for giving us your energy and rhythm and sharing so much. I had fun dancing, as you saw, and I hope everyone else did as well. Thanks, Shera. Bye-bye. Anna,
See you
Sarah,
later.
see ya. Janine, thank you. I guess we have time for some more staff picks, favorites. As you all know, we are sharing some staff picks tonight, and the next one is up and coming from our curator of Asian art, Tangyeon Yin. And let me just get my share screen going, and we'll jump right into that. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tangyeon Yin, the conference curator of Asian art at the Harn Museum. The work of art I choose for tonight's program is a ceramic piece by Fukumoto Fuku, a leading female artist of contemporary Japanese ceramic art. Fukumoto was born in 1973. She is best known for her works that draw inspirations from natural phenomena such as ice, clouds, wind, the sun, and the moon. So this piece is currently on view in the Asian Art Wing at the Harn Museum. At first glance, the ceramic reminds us of 3 porcelain bowls stacked on top of each other. This utilitarian association is a signature feature of Fukumoto's art, which always shows connections to Japanese ceramic tradition. When taking a closer look, we may find that her ceramic art in many important ways is non-traditional. For example, on this particular work, the expanses of blank walls of the vessels, the undulating rims of the vessels, and the contrasting blue and teal colored glazes. So the English translation of the title of this work is Moonlight or Moon Shadow. Why is the difference? That's because in Japanese, the work is called Tsuki Kage. Tsuki means the moon, and Kage means shadow and light in Japanese at the same time. So in Japanese, the meaning of kage is quite different from what is generally perceived in Western cultures. For most of the Westerners, shadow is normally associated with darkness and with a wicked aspect of life. However, in Japanese tradition, the dual meaning of kage seems to be derived from the sensibility of taking light and shadow as identical since the ancient times. As a Japanese novelist, Tanizaki Junichiro wrote in his 1933 book entitled In Praise of Shadows, he said, as I quote here, "We find beauty not in the thing itself, but in the patterns of shadows, light and darkness. Were it not for shadows, there would be no beauty." End of quote. So the Japanese aesthetics of ambiguity is carried by the dual meaning of kage in the work's title. And maybe just as Fukumoto suggested here, we could only find and appreciate the true beauty of the moon through the shadow caused by its light. So this work speaks to me strongly because the elegant simplicity of its form exudes a sense of harmony and tranquility. So every time I look at this piece of work in the gallery, it brings a feeling of peacefulness and serenity. So this work was donated to the Harn Museum in 2016 by Kara and Jeffrey Horwitz. Kara and Jeffrey Horwitz not only assembled the largest and finest modern and contemporary Japanese ceramic arts outside of Japan, but also have been extremely generous to lend and to donate their collections to museums, particularly to campus museums around the country. It is because of their generosity and the continued support of patrons like them that we have these opportunities to cross paths with works of art across time and space. So I look forward to hearing your personal connections with works of art on display at the Harn Museum. Thank you.
That was so wonderful and insightful. Thank you so much, Tong-Yun, for sharing that with us. I have another trivia contest question for y'all to answer in our YouTube chat box. So you figured out that the Wadsworth Athenaeum was not in Athens, Greece, but in Hartford, Connecticut. The next question is takes its inspiration from the artist who Fukumoto Fuku, who created the moonlight work we just looked at. She was born in, and she studied art, and I believe she still lives in Kyoto. And so the question is, which one of the following was founded in Kyoto in 1889? This is a wonderful little notebook gift. Ooh, you can't see it too well. Comic notebook. It's got wonderful little panels inside, so you can take notes or create a comic book, a zine if you want. And so enter your answer. Which of the following was founded in Kyoto in 1889? Was it Kikkoman? You know them for soy sauce. Was it Nintendo? You know them for games. Was it Sapporo? Beer. Or Toyota? Cars. Let us know while I have a drink and you answer. We've got another staff pick now from Liz Rogers, who is a colleague in registration preparation. They handle the works and hang them and track them and make sure they're safe and manage their insurance. And Liz is talking about a work that she is fond of and feels a connection to. Let's share that.
Hi, my name is Liz Rogers, and I am the registrar for exhibitions and loans at the Harn Museum. One of my favorite objects in the Harn's collections is Kyoko Tokumaru's The Island of Flowery Flame. I have many favorites in the collection, but what drew me to this work was not only the beauty of it, but the artist's skill to achieve such a difficult creation. Being a registrar, I have a unique relationship with the objects in our collection because I work so closely with the curators during the planning and installation of these objects for exhibitions. One of my duties is to assess the condition of the artworks to ensure their safety for display. This involves looking very closely at every aspect of the work. You really get to examine how the object is made, and you appreciate the skill of the artist, along with just spending a lot of time just looking over the work. I also relate to this work because growing up in high school and college, I took ceramic classes, and I am in complete awe in the skill required to make this piece. Porcelain is a very soft clay, which is beautiful in its raw, unglazed form, but it also is hard to manipulate. The intricate details achieved in the flowers and the flame is remarkable, and after close examination, the surface is pristine with no cracks or blemishes. What is amazing are the tiny details in the flowers and the precision of adhering the pistons to the larger flower form. I can only imagine how this was achieved. For me, ceramics were a way to connect with nature, to feel the clay in your hands and mold something from the earth, either a cup or a bowl or even something ornamental like this work. Therefore, Tokumaru's piece definitely creates a nostalgic feeling of being in the studio, and it inspires me to create again.
All right, Liz, thank you so much for sharing your passion and personal connection, and it's wonderful to get to know you about your interest in ceramics. I love these note cards. These are Harn note cards. Sorry, my background makes it hard to see anything, the virtual background, but they're really cool. It's a little palette with a brush, and it says Harn Museum of Art on the brush. I guess you just have to win them to see what they look like. There you go. I think there's probably 10 note cards in here. and I can't help it. I buy them every time I run out. So the question is as follows. Remember to enter your answer in the YouTube chat box. Kyoko Tokumura's Island of Flowery Flame is a ceramic work, which of the following is not a type of ceramic ware? I've got some music while we not a type of ceramic ware. Is it earthenware, wind and fireware, stoneware, porcelain? So this one is not a real, maybe it should be type of ceramic ware. Pop that in the chat box. Your fabulous note cards, my personal favorite. One last step. And then, and this is Bob Ross coming up with the prize. Who doesn't love Bob Ross? I don't know why everyone loves Bob Ross, but there you go. Bob Ross mug. Feel good guy about art. Here we go with our final, with Kelly Harvey talking about the Korean Bodhisattva.
Hello, I'm Kelly Harvey. I'm the Director of Development here at the Harn Museum of Art. And I have spent lots of time with the collection at the museum over my tenure with the Harn, which started as an intern many years ago. And actually, one of my very favorite pieces is the Korean Bodhisattva, one of our very first Korean Bodhisattvas that we acquired at the museum. And it's special to me because it's one of the first pieces of Asian art that I truly fell in love with. I've appreciated all types of art over time, from all the collections, from all types of art that is created, but Asian art is not something I had always understood or had spent the time getting to know. And this sculpture is one that certainly allowed me to make that connection with this culture and with this area of the collection. So the Korean Bodhisattva is something that I've certainly fallen in love with over time. And part of that, I believe, is because we've taken a couple of journeys together. When I was a curatorial assistant here at the museum under the former Cofferin curator of Asian art, Jason Stuber, we took the Bodhisattva, very affectionately known as the Bodhi, on a trip to Shands Hospital in order to x-ray his insides and also do a CAT scan to see what other stories he could tell us about his creation and about the artist who made him. So back then, being a curatorial assistant, I sat with Bodhi in the back seat of a very, very hot, unair conditioned van to make sure that he arrived safely at the hospital. And so he certainly kept me safe on that journey, and I kept him safe as well. But on that journey, we learned about the cavity that is on the inside of his belly area. And then also the fact that by putting him through a CAT scan, we learned that he was made of one piece of wood, or at least his entire body was. And that really showed the expertise and the skill of the sculptor who made him, using the arm of a tree for the arm of this sculptural figure. So you could see that through a knot that was coming out of that scan, which hopefully you all have seen when he was on view. Bodhi's resting now because he does so much good work. So he needs to rest and let someone else take his spot. But we also then took him on another journey in another hot ride in another unair conditioned van to do an endoscope of his head to see the prayer pieces that were in his head, written on mulberry paper and put there, to be kept safe forever. And that's where they still are today. So really the journeys and the stories that Bodhi has shared over time with me and with all of you as visitors has endeared him to me even further. And I think one of the final pieces is what the mudras or his hand presentations mean. and how those were important to me when the building opened. I was working in the development office at that time, and that was a big procedure, getting that wing open. And then also, you know, in life after that. But the right hand shows a specific gesture in his mudra, and I am not an Asian art scholar, so I'm not going to try to pronounce the actual name of it, but it means, you know, be fearless, do not be afraid. And the other hand in his left hand is a gift-giving gesture, meaning that he will give you what it is that you need. So do not be afraid. I'm with you, and you will receive all the things you need in order to overcome whatever obstacle it is that you're facing. So I take that with me through life and through my job here at the Harn. And when he was on view, I used to go sit with him on the floor so I could look up and see his very kind eyes and his reassuring smile, and remember that not to be afraid, go on, and all things that you need would be provided to you. He meant so much to me, and still does, that my nephew, when I would bring him to visit the museum, that was one of the first sculptures that we went to see. And Bodhi became his friend as well. And if you can teach a 4-year-old, perhaps even 3 at the time, to say Bodhisattva and know exactly what his hand gestures meant, and that he could then be a tour guide as well, then I figured I was doing a pretty good thing as a museum professional and an aunt. But that is why the Bodhi is one of my favorite pieces in the Harn's collection. And I look forward to him coming back on view sometime soon. And I hope you have enjoyed him as much as I have. So even though he's in storage, know that through life, something or someone will provide you with what it is that you need, and to not be afraid and go out and be courageous. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. We're being courageous tonight, taking chances, dancing. Speaking of dancing, here comes Janine. She's going to join us again. And we have our prize and our final trivia question. The final question is inspired by this work of art. The Korean Bodhisattva at the Harn depicts a seated Bodhisattva. The hand gestures have specific meanings, such as dispelling fear and gift bestowing. What is the term for these gestures? You may have heard it in the video. You may just know it from your own experience. So, is it Mushu? Is it Mudra? Is it Mulan? Or is it Sign? Pop it in the chat box in the YouTube page and let us know your answer for the final prize, the Bob Ross mug. It's a black background until you add in hot water, and then it reveals a Bob Ross painting. Fabulous. I think that, I've got a couple more things to share. Janine's here, and then we're going to toast out the night. I just wanted to say this is our last online museum night. It had technical difficulties, which is traditional for museum nights. So here's to technology. I raised my glass, my blue Gator drink. And Jean's got her orange. As we, I'm sharing on the screen just some clips or just snapshots from our past museum nights over the past 16 months or so. As I said, we've had hundreds of guests and participants and curators and staff members and community members and students and faculty. It's been really wonderful. We've had storytelling, we've had art making, we've had art talking, there's been dance, there's been photography, just all kinds of activities and experiences. All of this remains available to you online. If you want to go back and check out any of these museum nights, just go to our YouTube page. They're all recorded and they're all there for you to explore and meet the artists and faculty and students who are featured in these. So it's been really great being with you online these past 60 months. Looking forward to being with you in person. We meet next in person Thursday, August 12th at the museum at 6 o'clock. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a step into the lens. We're going to have a photographer doing portraits. We're going to have some art activities. We're going to have poetry. We'll talk about art. So there's a lot to see and do. And we look forward to your joining us. Thanks so much for being part of Museum Nights. These these many months online. Looking forward to getting back to museum nights in person. I'm a muse at museum nights. You'll see all of us with our shirts on, ready to have a great time at the museum. Janine, thanks so much for dancing and drinking and sharing art tonight. And
Thank you, Eric.
your very generous gift of your watercolor, which is really beautiful. So cheers to you.
Oh yeah, I'm so
everyone who's
happy to be part of the museum night, the last virtual museum night, I should say.
That's right.
Cheers, Eric.
Thank you. We wish you well. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Good night.
You'll see all of us with our shirts on.